Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It has been such a long time. I feel like I keep saying that now. I do have grand plans to get back to my every Wednesday video, but at the moment, with business and life as it is, it's just proving a little bit tricky. So I guess kind of what I wanted to do, I've had a few exciting I guess announcements, changes happening from a business point of view, and I've also been struggling from a business point of view, and I suppose what I wanted to do was come on here and talk about the changes and the announcements that have happened and all the wonderful things, but also talk to you guys about the kind of not so wonderful things, those feelings of, you know, being overwhelmed, the imposter syndrome that I actually did a whole video about not so long ago. If you haven't watched that, then make sure you do. I will link to it below and you can go watch that. But yeah, so obviously, as you guys know, if maybe you've come over from Instagram and you follow my journey there, but maybe you are somebody that isn't part of the Instagram kind of world or community, and really what you're on YouTube for when it comes to me is my yoga flows and maybe some updates like this. So you won't have seen the changes with regards to my retreat business. So my kind of work, the ways I make money, let's say, they kind of work in three different streams. So I run my retreats, which I love. So they're yoga retreats. I'm branching out into yoga and surf for a Sri Lanka retreat next year, which I think I have one space left for. So if you're interested, I will link to everything below that I mention, especially the retreat stuff. So my retreat business is growing, and I have, you know, this big 10-year plan of one day owning my own place and just being able to do retreats slightly differently to how I do them now, still very much being, you know, the teacher and being part of it, but actually being able to offer more to the guests that come. And also for my own sanity and peace of mind, being just more central in one place rather than doing so much travel, which is what I have done this year. So because of kind of like the changes, I wanted to move away from my name. So the retreat company is now called Alma Escapes. And again, there is an Instagram page that kind of will give you behind the scenes of my retreats. It will give you the announcements, all of that stuff. So I really recommend that if you're interested on coming on any of my yoga retreats, to make sure that you are following that page. And of course, it will obviously link to all the information which is readily available on my website. So the reason for Alma Escapes is, well, from a name point of view, is Alma is Portuguese for soul, as in like your soul, which is something that we explore deeply on yoga retreats. And for me, the reason why it's soul in Portuguese is because Portugal is really the place where I first ran my retreats, and I really discovered like my true passion for running them. I had run one just before that in the UK and it was amazing, but it obviously was my first one. I was quite nervous, whereas Portugal was really the first two that I ran in Portugal. They were like, oh my gosh, this is me. This is where I feel so at home, and it's really where I want to excel my business. So that's one way that I kind of, I guess, like bring in revenue. And so Alma Escapes is my retreat baby, and hopefully she will grow, and I really, really look forward to hopefully meeting some of you on those retreats one day. I then also have my membership. So my monthly membership, it's a subscription service. It's £18 a month. I have just introduced the opportunity to sign up for 6 months in advance, and therefore you save 10%. So if that's something that, if you've kind of been unsure about, you know, wanting to save just a little bit of money. And also I think the reason why the 6 month works is because you sign up and then you're held accountable for those 6 months. So it's a really good one. So if you're thinking about joining me on my subscription service, then again, the link is below and you can come join me. You get new flows every month. The website will be changing slightly. You know, I'm constantly coming up with new ideas and ways to make the service more seamless. So it will be better in terms of searchability, in terms of layout. Everything is going to come together in a much more, I guess, just seamless and beautiful way. which I'm really excited about. And so that's like a monthly subscription that you guys can join. You can cancel anytime, unless obviously you've signed up for the 6-month one. And as well, if you're somebody that loves my YouTube flows, but you're looking for something longer, like anything longer than 30 minutes, then that's the place for you. There's monthly meditations, there's access to a private members Facebook group where we kind of give each other tips and tricks. There's a live Q&A every month, all of that kind of stuff. And then the other part of my business is working with brands. So I am an ambassador for The Body Shop. I've worked really closely with Samsung this year. I get to work with some really incredible brands. I'm doing a brilliant job with Rituals at the moment. I worked with Twinings on a journaling challenge, which was great, and it was just so good and in line with what I do. So I'm really lucky that I get to work with brands like that, which I really love. But that side of it for me it's something that I'm really passionate about and that I love doing, but it has to take that little step back in order for me to really excel at bringing my retreats up a level, and also making sure my membership content is filmed and is ready and it's out there on the dates that I say it's going to be. For example, today I had a day full of planned video content, and my next door neighbours decided to have their windows redone, so lots of banging and drilling. And then I thought, you know what, I'll come to my parents. And then I sat down and the gardeners were outside. But it's okay, I have a little bit of peace now, not quite enough for me to film yoga, but I am here talking to you guys, so I thought I'll just film a chatty one instead. So anyway, went on a tangent as per usual. But yeah, so they are, I guess, my streams of income. And I am a one-man band, one-woman band. I do pretty much everything, bar I did have full-time management up until recently for the brand deals. I still have an amazing relationship with Gleam, who were my managers, and we're still working on some campaigns together. But going forwards, I'm doing a lot of that stuff myself. Obviously, when I'm actually on retreats, I have an amazing team of people that are helping me, but when it comes to kind of finding the places and doing, you know, all of like the research and stuff, up until very recently I was doing that as well. I now have a wonderful personal assistant who works with me part-time, and she, yeah, saves my ass a lot. Just saves me a lot of time where I can really put my heart and soul into the creative stuff, and she can do all the stuff that she's great at and that I'm not so great at. And then the membership, of course, is all me, because I'm the only one that can film the content. So like I say, and then there's days like today where you plan a whole day of content and it doesn't go quite right, and it's just trying to figure out in my diary like where everything goes. So that's kind of like what my business is and what's changing. Oh, and I didn't say, you can tell that where my brain is at these days. So my monthly membership up until a couple of weeks ago was just known as Meffan Yoga membership. It's now the Soul Sanctuary. So again, using that word soul in line with Alma Escapes, but also just in line with it being a sanctuary, like a place that you can come to. It's like your own little place where I hold space for you. I allow you to be on your yoga mat. I allow you to meditate. I allow you to be open and share your vulnerabilities with a group. And it's a really beautiful place. At least I think it is. And my members, you know, the feedback is amazing. And yeah, so if that's something that you are interested in, then come join us in the Soul Sanctuary. But yeah, the other point of this video was me just being really, I guess, like open and honest with you about running businesses, about being self-employed, because, you know, I know that I am doing very well and I'm very proud of what I've created and what I do. And it's very easy to forget about your achievements and to forget to give yourself credit for all the stuff you're doing, especially when just like life, being an adult, gets in the way, trying to sell a house, trying to buy a house, family stuff, you know, like just stuff, just life stuff that isn't work. And I think that it's just, I wanted to, I guess, be really open and say that, like, you know, that affects me too. My, you know, my I wrote down my to-do list yesterday and it was like 2 pages long, and I went into sudden stress mode of just feeling really overwhelmed. You know, and I prioritized, and then today, even though it's been, you know, a hiccup of a day, I've managed to do a lot of work. But it is, you know, it's hard, and finding that work-life balance is really important, and putting boundaries in place to make that better for yourself is so important. Like, for example, when I'm on retreats, for me to be the best yoga teacher that I can be for my guests, I have my amazing assistant Jules, who is there, who does a little bit more of kind of like, you know, just a bit more interacting with the guests outside of the classes, a little bit more of the logistics stuff. I obviously have my amazing chef Marcin. My partner Luke has been coming on the last couple, just doing a little bit extra, making coffees, doing the workouts, which is amazing and adds a whole other layer. And it just, all of those things together means that I can take a step back, and having those boundaries in place is great. But where I guess I fail a little bit or lack on the boundaries is when it's like, well, how do I set boundaries in place when it's just me that has to film? So that's kind of why it can be quite overwhelming, I guess, because it's all about my energy and what I need to put out there to you guys. But you know, I'm doing it and I'm loving it. I guess my point of this video is just to never assume that you're not doing so good and that everyone else has got their stuff together, because I assure you that even if you think I have all of my shit together, I most definitely don't. You know, we're all just doing the best that we can, and we're getting overwhelmed, we're getting stressed, and we're just dealing with it in the best ways that we can. But for me, you know, having a sounding board with the people that you love is really, really important. So, you know, having like my boyfriend, my friends, my family, people that I can, you know, ask questions to, I can get their opinion on stuff, is super important. Journaling for me is one of the most healing things that I can do. It doesn't take too much time, but it really helps me offload, and it also helps me sort of look forward to things. My gratitude practice every single day, talking about what I'm grateful for, is really, really a great way of putting life into perspective when you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. So small things like that, I think, are really important to have those little practices. So I don't know if maybe you've been the same within your business, if you're self-employed and it's like you don't have that kind of off switch. I mean, I'm very, very good in terms of like, I don't work late nights. My laptop will not be on any later than 8 p.m. because it's bad for my mental health. So it won't be. I do get up early in the morning and start work. But yeah, I think that having those kind of boundaries in place are important. Maybe let's make the comments under this video, you know, a place where we can share our tips and tricks for kind of that work-life balance would be really, really great. So I think I've spoken long enough. There is my kind of work-life update for you. Sorry if it was a bit rambly. I'm gonna kind of get back into the swing of things. Hopefully you'll have a new yoga flow this Sunday coming, and then a few more obviously coming up. Yeah, there will be lots. Oh, and YOGANUARY. YOGANUARY, will it be 4.0 this year? Yes. So lots of questions about YOGANUARY. Yes, it will be happening. It will be happening in the same way it did last year. So it's on my membership. So if you want 31 days of yoga throughout all of January for just £18, then sign up to my membership. That's the Soul Sanctuary, because that is where it's going to be. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. Over and out. Much love.